Raiders with a chance to win the AFC West. We'll run down that playoff scenario in a moment. With San Diego out of the postseason picture, all they can do is destroy the hopes of their arch rival, Oakland Raiders. Marv Albert, Rich Gannon, a mild 58-degree day in Northern California. Raiders won the toss. They defer. San Diego will receive. As you look at Richard Goodman, ready to return. Sebastian Janikowski will kick it off. Sellout crowd, better than 63,000 on hand. And there will be no return by Goodman. They'll move it out to the 20-yard line, and here is Philip Rivers, who made the Pro Bowl, Rich, but certainly not one of his better seasons.
No, but you know what? As he goes, Marv, so go the Chargers. And you know, it's fourth straight season of 4,000 or more yards passing and 20 touchdowns. 23-3 as a starter in the month of December. That's the number that really gets out of you. And the thing is, he's got to play well in order for the Chargers to have a chance to win.
San Diego without the injured Ryan Matthews. They have combinations of Mike Tolbert and Curtis Brinkley at running back. And it is Brinkley, the second-year man out of Syracuse, stopped by Rolando McClain, picked up just a yard. A look at the Chargers offensive line. Recent addition, left tackle Jake Gaither, playing for the injured Marcus McNeil, has allowed only 2 quarterback pressures the last 4 games. Backs and receivers, another Pro Bowl season for tight end Antonio Gates, San Diego's leading receiver with 59 receptions and 6 touchdowns. Rivers throwing to the outside. It's caught across the 25 by Gates. Catch number 60 on the season. Picks up 5 here on the Raiders defensively. Big front 4 with Richard Seymour named to the 7th Pro Bowl of his career. Second time as a Raider. Outside linebacker Cameron Windley sacked Philip Rivers 4 times in that first meeting in early November. Secondary, strong safety Tyvon Branch has played very well, and once again leading Oakland in total tackles. Now Tolbert in the backfield. And a flag is down with movement.
With encroachment. Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 96. 5-yard penalty is enough for a first down.
Call by referee Clete Blakeman on Cameron Windley, the outside linebacker, and it has been a penalty-filled season for the Raiders, who are on their way to shattering records in that department.
And that didn't take very long, and Cameron Windley had a big game, Marv, last time against the Chargers. 4 sacks in that one.
First down, San Diego from the 30-yard line. Off the roll, Rivers to the sideline. It is incomplete. Intended for Malcolm Floyd. Well, the Raiders lead the NFL once again, and they are now 3 penalties and 11 yards away from setting a new league record for penalties and penalty yards.
And the ones that really bother you there, that down to bottom, 58 pre-snap penalties, just lining up in a neutral zone, jumping off sides. The mental errors, just too much to overcome. Cameron Windley, the rest of those guys have to find a way to stay on sides.
Last week at Kansas City, they were penalized 15 times for 92 yards. Rivers throwing deep, but is broken up, and a flag comes flying. Vincent Jackson, the intended receiver, covered by Stanford Routt, who last week was called for 4 penalties.
This one's going to be on Matt Giordano, the safety. A hit on a defenseless receiver. You see Matt.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense. Helmet-to-helmet contact on the receiver. Penalty is a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, you're going to see Vincent Jackson release. Now, he never feels Matt Giordano, the safety, and right there a little bit high, and that's really that's on Matt Giordano. I know it's tough. There's been a lot of criticism about these penalties. The bottom line is you've got to lower your point of contact. You can't hit them up around the shoulders.
And Rich, congratulations to the Raiders. That gives them the penalty yard record in NFL history. First down for the 45-yard line. Rivers stepping up, and he throws the long ball. It is picked off. Intercepted by Matt Giordano. The pass intended for Vincent Jackson.
Wow, this is decisions you just cannot make. These are the ones that are killing the San Diego Chargers.
Philip Rivers picked off for the 20th time this season. That is a career high.
Yeah, big surprise, Marv, has been the 25 turnovers that he's committed, the most in the NFL. 5 fumbles to go along with the career high 20 picks.
Raiders will take over at their 5-yard line when we come back.
Tuesday.
Carson Palmer, in his 10th game with the Raiders, taking over for the injured Jason Campbell, has had his ups and downs. He has Michael Bush in the backfield, and Bush off the right side. Stopped by the strong safety, Steve Gregory. It's an 8-yard pickup. Here are the Raiders up front. The rookie out of Penn State, Stefan Wisniewski, has been outstanding. Backs and receivers, well, Michael Bush, who has taken over for the injured Darren McFadden, running for a career-high 157 yards in that earlier meeting against San Diego.
Green 10!
Play fake, and Palmer's pass nearly picked off. Quentin Jammer, the left corner, had a shot. San Diego defensively out of the 3-4 with the rookie Corey Legion, as they say, learning on the job, coming along. Outside linebacker Sean Phillips missed the first meeting with the Raiders, recovering from a foot injury. As for the secondary, free safety Eric Weddle has had a stellar season, tied for the NFL lead, 7 interceptions, made the Pro Bowl for the first time in his 5-year career. Third down and 1, and it's a first down, picked up by Oakland. Bush, the ball carrier, stopped by Antonio Garay. Bush went for 5. We're set for an update. Let's go to JV and Boomer.
Baltimore wants the AFC North, Boom.
And they want the number 2 seed in the AFC playoffs. And what a way to start the game for the Baltimore Ravens. On their first series, Ray Rice goes 70 yards. They lead the young upstart Cincinnati Bengals 7-0.
Strong start indeed, Marv and Rich.
All right, guys, 1st and 10 for Oakland. We're just underway here at the Coliseum in Oakland. Big hole for Bush, and it brings across the 25-yard line. Another big pickup, 8 more for Bush, stopped by Donald Butler, the inside linebacker. Now for Oakland, a win here today and a Denver loss would mean the AFC West for the Raiders. And Oakland lost, and they are out, even if Denver loses, because of that third tiebreaker that deals with common opponents. There are all kinds of other combinations involving other teams. But as far as Denver and Oakland are concerned, they can get in the playoffs only by winning the division. Michael Bush has a first down, and he has run well. 5 more for Bush.
And this is where they're at their best, when they're able to run the football behind that left side of that offensive line. They love this counter roll play. You see the fullback kick out. Michael Bush, all 250 pounds of him. He needs to have a busy day here. When they run it well, they're tough to beat.
4 carries, 27 yards here at the start for Bush. He's now replaced by Ruck Cartwright, 10-year man out of
Green 10!
Kansas State.
You're cut!
Palmer goes sideline, leaping catch made by Denarius Moore, just short of a first down. Sean Phillips, the outside linebacker, making the tackle.
Well, this is talking to Carson Palmer on Friday. This is the one receiver that he feels the most comfortable with right now, Denarius Moore. He's the most natural. I think he's the more fluid route runner. He catches the ball well. Of course, like all these Raider receivers, he's got a great deal of speed to separate in the secondary.
Moore has excellent hands. That was catch number 31 on the season. He flanks to the right side. And once again, caught right. Short pickup. Perhaps a yard. Spikes makes the tackle. There is one other variation in terms of the playoff battle. If both Denver and Oakland win, Denver wins the AFC West by virtue, again, of that third tiebreaker, which is how they've done against common opponents.
Yeah, and they go back to the Oakland's loss at Miami. Denver beat Miami in overtime. That really was a difference maker.
That was the first of Tim Tebow's, and Bush able to dive forward and has a Colonel Palmer on a quarterback sneak. And a flag is down.
There's a little pushing after the fact. You just can't do
Personal
that.
foul. Grabbing the face mask. Defense, number 20. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
It is Antoine Cason, the right quarterback, called.
You talk about using good judgment right there. The Raiders running the football well, and just don't make it easy for them. And this is going to be a very physical confrontation. You think about two division rivalries and rivals in San Diego and Oakland. They don't like each other. And of course, San Diego has not forgotten what happened about 6 weeks ago down in San Diego when the Raiders really put a hurting on them.
First and 10, here's an end around. Louis Murphy down the sideline. Louis Murphy, who actually scored his first career touchdown on a 12-yard run against Detroit 2 weeks ago. It's 27-yard pickup, but a penalty marker is thrown. The officials huddled up, and we'll hear from Curtis Blakeman.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 98. Penalty is half the distance to the goal line. And number 98 is ejected for the game because of his contact with an official.
Wow. The outside linebacker, Antoine Barnes, who leads the Chargers with 11 sacks. Unsportsmanlike conduct, Rich, and he has been tossed.
And you just got to talk about using good judgment. This is brutal right here. You see the run right there. Yeah, that's it right there. You can't hold him. You got to let him get off the ground. Louis Murphy trying to get up, and then he has contact with the official. Marv, you mentioned he's their best pass rusher right now. 11 sacks coming into today's game. They can't afford to lose a player like Antoine Barnes.
As you can see, Antoine Barnes reluctant to leave the field. Remains in the bench area for the moment. Derek Gamble has come on replacing him. First and goal for the Raiders. Inside the 8-yard line. And again it is Bush. Led by Takeo Spikes. Bush goes for 3.
And they're getting a lot of movement at the point of attack. You look inside, Wisniewski, Samson Sotelo, the center, Cooper Carlisle, the right guard, getting good movement and giving these backs an opportunity to get up on the linebackers.
Second down and goal just inside the 5. 11th play of this drive for the Raiders. The running back Bush to the left of Palmer. Bush weaves his way. And he is stopped by the free safety Eric Weddle. About a yard, maybe a yard and a half for Bush.
Yeah, Bush has done a wonderful job becoming the lead back in McFadden's absence. You know, the big back that can wear down a defense. He's got good speed for a bigger back. We mentioned 250 pounds, and he needs 89 yards for his first 1,000-yard season.
halfway through the first. The Raiders at the doorstep, 3rd and goal. Here's the throw, it's caught! Touchdown! Darius Heyward-Bey off the beautiful throw by Carson Palmer, and the Raiders have a 6-0 lead.
Marv, you mentioned a beautiful throw by Carson Palmer. This is the only place he can throw it and still fit this one into Darius Heyward-Bey. It's a perfect throw and catch in the back of the end zone.
Heyward-Bey working against Antoine Cason, the right cornerback. Now Sebastian Janikowski coming on for the extra point. Shane Lechler will hold.
Boy, another penalty. This is ugly. This reminds me of the game last week, the Oakland-Kansas City game, with all the penalties in the first half.
And out of the 15 penalties last week, that included a delay of game call that erased a touchdown pass on a fake field goal. And now Barnes ushered off.
There is no foul on the play.
And apparently no foul on that play, no penalty.
Well, they called that on Barnes, who had been ejected.
It's under review. Previous play is under review.
Now the question is, did Darius Heyward-Bey have both feet in bounds? They'll review that upstairs. All scoring plays automatically reviewed, and they'll take another look. We'll be right back.
Here we go.
And they're reviewing the play here to Darius Heyward-Bey, and question is whether or not he catches it clean initially. And I'm not so sure he does. You watch, he's working on Cason now. Right there, you can see it's still moving, it's still bobbling. Now watch the right foot. Now clearly he has it, but that right foot is on the line. That left foot is on the line. I think they're going to overturn this one. And that's the thing with Darius Heyward-Bey, just not catching it clean. It's a thing he has struggled with as a young receiver.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It is a touchdown.
Wow. How about it?
Well, apparently they felt he did get the right foot down. Did he have possession at the time?
Well, this is about possession.
And then the left right there, and they said he had possession.
Yeah, that's where they say he had possession. You stare at the ball, you see it moving a little bit, but clearly they thought that he had possession.
Here's Janikowski for the extra point, and it is good. Raiders take a 7-0 lead here in the first with 7:20 left. All right, Rich, Raiders off to the quick start. 12 plays, 95 yards in 5 minutes and 49 seconds, and they wanted to start quickly.
Yeah, it's important for them to get off to a good start. And this is a meaningful game for the Raiders. Marv, it's been so long. There's a reason why they went out and acquired Carson Palmer to play in these type of games late in the season.
Well, it's been a long time since the Raiders made the playoffs. It was back in, 2002? And, Rich, I believe you are very familiar with that season.
Absolutely, and you talk about it's been a long time coming, 8 long seasons, and Raiders have worked hard to finally get in the position to contend for an AFC West title.
Richard Goodman will run it out. Goodman puts the speed on, reaching to the 20-yard line. Well, the last time that the Raiders made the postseason, as I mentioned, was back in 2002 AFC Division playoffs against the Jets. Our own Rich Gannon throwing 2 touchdown passes, including one to Jerry Rice for a Raiders victory. AFC title game against the Titans. Rich threw 3 touchdown passes and ran for 1 as well as the Raiders advanced in their first Super Bowl in 19 years. Rich showing that blazing speed
Oh, those were the good old days, and I was blessed to play with so many wonderful players here in Oakland.
Curtis Brinkley in the backfield.
Hey, check! Orange!
Oh, Rivers took a hit, but he got away with a short pass. Brinkley coming out of the backfield. Rolando McClain was right there, and it's only a 2-yard pickup.
Well, this is what they want to do, get pressure up inside on Phillip Rivers. You see Richard Seymour coming off, and that's going to be a battle all day. You look at Hardwick inside and Tyrone Green. Norv Turner told us last night that's not a good matchup. Seymour on the left guard, Tyrone Green, we're going to have to help inside.
Second down at 8. Raiders have a 7-0 lead. Meanwhile, Denver, Kansas City scoreless in the early going. The toss to Brinkley, and he is wrapped up. Took a hard shot. No gain on the play. Curtis Brinkley goes just 5'9", but 208 pounds in his second season out of Syracuse. Took the hit from Jarvis Moss. Curtis Brinkley, a guy who survived gunshot wounds close to his heart, mistakenly targeted back in July of 2009, but was able to come back. Appeared in 3 games last season, and getting some action here with Ryan Matthews sidelined by injury. So it's Brinkley and Tolbert in the backfield, and Tolbert makes his return for this 3rd down and 7. Rivers rifles it, and it's a first down across the 35. The catch by Malcolm Floyd, and that's a pickup of 14 as Lito Shepherd made the tackle.
And that's really where they can hurt you with their size. More so the size than the speed right now. Phillip Rivers is going to have to slide around and make some plays. You can see Floyd there working on the corner, Lito Shepherd.
Rich, why has Phillip Rivers had difficulties this season, even though he made the Pro Bowl?
I think he's trying to do too much, Marv. I think he's gotten a situation where they've been behind in games. I think the injuries have piled up a little bit, and he's tried to do way too much.
The toss to Brinkley, tripped up, and rolls across the 40-yard line. Aaron Curry made the stop, 3-yard pickup.
Well, I think that's the thing that really jumps out at you. You look at the touchdowns, but it's the interceptions, 19, and that combined with the fumbles. I mean, he's got 24 turnovers himself, which is the most in the league this year, and it's too hard to overcome. And I think they've been in some close games, but it's those mistakes at the worst possible time that have really hurt Phil Rivers and the Chargers.
And that graphic you just saw, numbers coming into today's play. A give to Tolbert. Tolbert broke tackles as he crossed the 45, and he picked up 8 on the play, and it's a first down. Cameron Windley making the tackle.
Yeah, they're going to have to be able to run the football today without Ryan Matthews. Tolbert's going to have to shoulder more of the load, and see him just running off tackle. Not having Ryan Matthews really hurts. And he was really starting to figure things out, over 1,000 yards already this season. More work for Tolbert and Brinkley.
And the other guy the Chargers have missed, Darren Sproles, who departed from the team as Tolbert gets the call. And nothing there. Mike Tolbert is stopped by Tommy Kelly inside defensive tackle.
And you brought up Darren Sproles, Marvin. I think that's a great point. It's talking to Norv Turner on the field before the game, and that's one of the players that he talked about. He said, I went to war to try and keep him. He goes to New Orleans. He's had an incredible season. Most combined net yards in a season, set an NFL record today. He's been outstanding for the Saints.
Second down and 9. Oakland with a 7-0 lead on San Diego. Brinkley returns to the backfield. Out of the gun, Rivers with a long look and fires sideline. Malcolm Floyd makes the catch, a first down at the 40-yard line.
Would they do a nice job of moving the receivers around a little bit and get them in stack releases? It makes it a little bit more difficult for these corners to pick them up and to get their hands on them at the line of scrimmage. And that's really what you have to do with big, tall receivers like the Malcolm Floyd and the Vincent Jackson. You got to get your hands on them and disrupt the timing and the rhythm at the line of scrimmage.
Both Floyd and Jackson at 6'5",
We got something right now, Phil.
Lined up in an offset eye with Brinkley and the fullback, Hister. Brinkley, and he is stopped, trying to get ahead of steamrolling, but could not. Just a yard on that play. Jarvis Moss, the defensive end, making the stop.
You're going to see Brinkley. He's going to wind this run all the way back to his left side, and the reason he does is they don't have that safety block. You're seeing the Raiders bringing that safety down around the line of scrimmage on these early downs, making it very difficult to run against an 8-man front.
Coming up on 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. San Diego, 6 rushes, only 14 yards. Looking at a second down and 9.
Quick down.
Inside handoff to Colbert and nothing there. Good job again by the Raiders, led by Tommy Kelly.
And number 51, Aaron Curry.
It has been a very difficult season for the Chargers, who at one point lost 6 straight games. They started out at 4-1, and North Turner squarely on the hot seat, as is general manager A.J. Smith. Norv in his 5th season as head coach of the Chargers. In his first year, took San Diego to the AFC Championship game, and that was a team of 11 Pro Bowl players. 10th play of this drive. 3rd and 9. Rivers. It is caught inside the 5. Touchdown, Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates, the 8-time Pro Bowl tight end, including this season, with his 7th touchdown reception.
This is an incredible throw by Phillip Rivers. I mean, it's pretty good coverage by the safety, Mike Mitchell. You just watch Antonio Gates. He's just going to work up across the field, but a perfect throw gets this thing done. Mike Mitchell is right there. As he turns around, he extends his right hand. It's just a perfect throw by Phillip Rivers.
It's a 38-yard pass play. Nick Novak with the extra point, and the game is tied at 7. Phillip Rivers to Antonio Gates. And we're even. Chargers go 10 plays, 81 yards, 6 minutes, 18 seconds. Antonio Gates with the touchdown catch. Phillip Rivers throwing his 25th touchdown of the season, the 4th straight year he has reached that milestone. And back deep is Brian McCann, who last week returned the opening kickoff 91 yards. Former member of the Dallas Cowboys. Here comes McCann. Makes his way on a stiff arm across the 15-yard line. Steve Gregory on the tackle, 20-yard return. And Carson Palmer will make his way back. Oakland back to the offense.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Happy New Year from all of us at CBS Sports. We're at the Coliseum in Oakland. Chargers and Raiders tied at 7. Oakland in possession. First down. And the handoff to Michael Bush as they wrap him up.
Michael Bush to the 20, a gain of 1.
Keep your fantasy football season going with Playoff Challenge and compete against the nation for a chance to win $5,000. Sign up now at cbssports.com/challenge. Mark Albert, Rich Gannon on a beautiful 56-degree day here in the Bay Area. Second down and 9. Palmer's pass is caught in the left flat by the tight end Kevin Boss.
Number 87,
Gregory
Kevin Boss.
on the tackle, 5-yard advance as this first quarter is coming to a conclusion. When we resume, it'll be a 3rd down and 4 for the Raiders. So that is the end of the first. Raiders and Chargers tied at 7. We'll return to Oakland after these messages. Your close friends as a member of the Raiders in your days here.
That's an old teammate of mine. This is their old right guard.
It gets worse.
Yes. Hey, they were out in the parking lot before the game. You know, it had the feel of a big game coming into the parking lot. The tailgaters, the tents out there. It's been a while, for the Raiders to have such a meaningful game this late in the season.
Trying to make the playoffs for the first time since 2002 as the second quarter gets underway. It's a 3rd down and 3 for Carson Palmer. Diving attempt is made. If he holds on, it's a first down, and he did. The catch by David Osbury. Set for an update. Let's go to JB. And
Kyle Orton and the Chiefs would love to win this one.
And I'll tell you, Raider fans are going to love to see this. This is Dexter McCluster. It's going to be his first touchdown run of the season. 21 yards. Kansas City 7-0 over Denver. Remember, in order for Oakland to make the playoffs, they have to win, and Denver has to lose.
Back to Marv and Rich.
All right, thank you, guys. And the teams cannot make the playoffs as a wild card. That is off the books. You can only make it by winning the AFC West.
And I think that man's message, Hugh Jackson, to the players this week: don't worry about what happens in Denver. Don't worry about what happens in Cincinnati. Let's take care of our own business. We've got to find a way to beat San Diego here today.
Looks like Sean Phillips took a hit. He's shaken up. And as Sean makes his way to the sideline, once again, let's go to JB and Boomer back in our New York studio.
A wild one in Green Bay.
Rich, you're going to love this one. Matt Flynn has done something that neither Aaron Rodgers nor Brett Favre could do. He threw 6 TDs in a game today against the Detroit Lions, who now move back to the 6th seed in the NFC. Opens the door for Atlanta to get to number 5, which means they don't have to go to New Orleans again.
Marv and Rich.
Yeah, he's made himself a lot of money. He's a free agent at the end of this season.
Michael Bush
Bush up the middle.
with a 1-yard pickup met by Weddle and Spikes.
Gain of a yard, 2nd and 9 from the 37.
So Oakland would clinch the AFC West division with a win and a Denver loss or tie. I love in these contingencies where they put in a tie, which almost never occurs in the NFL, or an Oakland tie and a Denver loss. And Denver would take it with a win or a Denver tie and an Oakland loss or tie or an Oakland loss. There you have it. 2nd down and 9. Palmer throwing deep down the right side. It is incomplete. Pass intended for Darius Moore.
You know, I've been asked often about the acquisition of Carson Palmer and whether or not I thought it was a good decision. I thought it was the right decision at the time. They had to go out and get a quarterback when Jason Campbell went down, a quarterback that could come in and play some good football with not a lot of work. You think about it, the first 6 weeks of the season, Carson Palmer was down in San Diego throwing at a neighborhood park a couple times a week to his neighbor who was in insurance in business, to his brother-in-law, to TJ Husmanzada. It's incredible.
All right, 3rd down and 9, and it's completed but short of a first down. The tight end Kevin Boss on the reception stop by Eric Weddle. You saw Jason Campbell on the sideline as he went down with that broken collarbone. There's Jason. The backup is Kyle Bowler. So Shane Leckler has come on with Patrick Creighton back. He had a 71-yard punt last week, and this is another boomer. Carries into the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. This goes for 58. Shane Leckler headed to the Pro Bowl once again.
58 yards on that.
A reminder coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. Curtis Brinkley, Jacob Hester in the backfield. San Diego starting out from their 20. Brinkley has not been able to get much going. Rolando McClain, the middle linebacker, made the tackle.
You get a good look at Norv Turner, and really in a difficult spot. A lot of people speculating that tomorrow may be the last day for Norv. You look at his career, 14 seasons as a head coach, his overall record, a losing record, 4 playoff appearances. I think the thing that really jumps out at you, his first 3 years in San Diego, 32-16 with 3 division titles. The last 2 years, not so good. 9-7 last year. They fall short of the postseason. 16-15 the last 2 seasons.
Second down and 7. A flutter ball thrown, but Rivers completes to Gates. It was Rivers to Gates for the 38-yard touchdown. Cameron Wembley was able to chase him down, and this is a 37-yard pass play from Rivers to Gates.
And this is a mismatch. I mean, how can you have a guy like Wembley, who's a pass rusher, covering a tight end like Gates? The linebackers here in Oakland, a bit of a liability in coverage. They're much better rushers than guys that can cover in space. Cameron Wembley had 4 sacks in the last game against San Diego. That's what he was brought here to do, not cover tight ends like Gates.
Chargers first down at the Oakland 40. Brinkley with a hole on the right side. Nice move as he reaches close to the first down marker. Tyvon Branch from behind, able to make the stop on Curtis Brinkley, who's seen quite a bit of action here in the first half due to the injury suffered by Ryan Matthews. He's out with a calf problem, so it's Mike Tolbert and Curtis Brinkley in the backfield.
And Norv was excited. Good look at Ryan Matthews. Norv was excited to see Curtis Brinkley get some carries. He said he's got a nice little shake to him. He's a very good runner, great vision, and he loves the wide runs back.
And he did pick up the first down at the 30. Play fake. And the pass from Rivers incomplete, intended for Brinkley.
Trying to get that screen thrown to the back, and Phillip Rivers knew it wasn't there, so he did the next best thing, just throw it away. Particularly on first down, understanding the situation in the game.
Phillip Rivers with his 25th touchdown pass. Earlier in this half, he has been picked off 19 times and sacked 30 times. He had completed 5 straight before that throwaway.
Loaded. 51.
Takes the low snap, looking right. It is incomplete, intended for Malcolm Floyd. Oh, he caught it. Malcolm Floyd with the catch and then stepped out. Stanford route on the coverage.
Well, if you give Phillip Rivers some time back in the pocket, he can be deadly. You just see Stanford route. He is really playing off these receivers. See Malcolm Floyd there. These guys got big hands. It's kind of a one-handed grab there at the end, but
it's good for 16. Brinkley is the lone deep back. And a first down for San Diego outside the 15. Rivers throwing end zone. Flag is down, incomplete. The pass intended for Floyd. He was covered by Rout.
The intended receiver penalty flags.
boy, Stanford Rout has really had a difficult month. He got picked on last week in Kansas City, a bunch of penalties, a bunch of PIs. He has 16 penalties already this season.
Pass interference. Defense, number 26. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
Well, that ties the 1998 Kansas City Chiefs for the record. Most penalties. They already surpassed the record for most penalty yards. That was back in the first quarter.
And you look at Rout as he came off the field. He gets sloppy with his technique and fundamentals, and that's why quarterbacks like Phillip Rivers go right after him.
All right, first and goal. Here is Tolbert, and he's in for the touchdown. Mike Tolbert has given the Chargers the lead. For Tolbert, his 10th touchdown of the season.
Well, Tolbert's like a little bit of a bowling ball. He can run with some power, and he gets behind those shoulder pads. You just see him reach that ball over the line. And 20th career rush touchdown for Mike Tolbert. You can see Rod Woodson there, the Hall of Famer, trying to coach up Stanford Rout. And he panics at times. And that's the thing that gets him. He gets away from his fundamentals and his techniques, and he gets a little sloppy. It really cost him.
Nick Novak puts it through. The Chargers with a 14-7 lead on the Raiders.
The right tool for the job.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T. Rowe Price. Understanding the connections of a complex global economy. Invest with confidence. Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, now playing in select cities everywhere January 20th.
On this first day of January 2012, beautiful day in the Bay Area, and aerial coverage of today's game is being provided by MetLife. 14-7 lead for the Chargers. Meanwhile, Kansas City leads Denver 7-0 playing the second quarter. Nick Novak to kick it off to Ryan McCann, a very dangerous kick returner. This one is deep into the end zone, and McCann will stay right there. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. See what makes unforgettable this season's #1 new drama. Poppy Montgomery, Dylan Walsh star. That's Tuesday, only CBS.
Well, you listen to those comments coming out of the Chargers locker room this week, and they certainly indicate that team relishes the opportunity to play spoiler here today. You knew they were going to come in here and give them their best stuff.
Bush and Tonga in the backfield. And Palmer straight back to throw over the middle. He was caught by Bush, but just a 4-yard pickup. North Turner telling us last night the last 2 times they've played the Raiders, they've fallen behind early, which has really hurt. Well, they were down 7-0, but they've now come from the 7-0 deficit, take a 14-7 lead. At the 6-12 mark, Chiefs in front 7-0 over the Broncos. Play fake by Palmer. He throws, and it's caught for the first down. Darius Hayward-Bay. And now it is ruled incomplete. The officials talking it over, and they go back to the initial call of a catch.
Well, I think what happens is he actually catches the ball. He's got possession now. As he starts turning, the ball comes out, but he's able to recover it. So I think it is the right call. That is clearly a catch by Darius Hayward-Bay.
16-yard pickup. Carson Palmer, his longest completion of the day, and it is a first down for the Raiders. Michael Bush straight ahead, and then he is turned back. Stopped by Darrell Gamble, just a 1-yard pickup. Oakland Raiders last week at Kansas City beat the Chiefs in overtime, 16-13. That stopped a 3-game losing streak. Prior to that, they had won 3 in a row to extend to a record of 7-4. Hugh Jackson, the head coach of Oakland, in his first season as head man, Oakland's offensive coordinator last year. 2nd and 9. Palmer getting the protection. And throws down the left side, nearly intercepted on a diving attempt intended for Hayward-Bay. And Antoine Cason, who was covering, is down, as you can see. Charger medical staff out to check out Cason.
What happens is Cason's going to, Eric Weddle, the safety, is going to come over. They're going to run into each other. Cason knows he has help over the top. He just wasn't expecting a guy like Eric Weddle to hit him down low.
We'll take a break with 8:25 remaining. First half, and the Chargers in front of the Raiders, 14-7. Antoine Cason remaining on the sideline. Shake it up. Marcus Gilchrist, the rookie out of Clemson, has come on at right corner. Bush along with the fullback Marcus Reese in the backfield. Palmer now out of the shotgun for this 3rd and 8. Palmer had time and took advantage. He completes for a first down, hooking up with Louis Murphy, and they went right at the rookie Marcus Gilchrist. It's a 19-yard pickup.
That just makes too much sense. You have one corner go out, you bring in a rookie, and good protection here gets it done for Carson Palmer. He's going to slide to his left and buy a little bit of time. So allowing Louis Murphy to work in the middle of the field against the rookies.
First down at the San Diego 39, Bush. And he is bottled up, picked up a yard. Sean Phillips making the stop. And now Kaysen checks back in. Over the years, this has been an intensive rivalry, as you well know, Rich. It's the 108th meeting going back to the days of the AFL. Raiders have won the last 3, including that win earlier this season in San Diego. Phillip Rivers sacked 6 times in that game. And before the 3 wins, the Chargers had won 13 straight against Oakland. Second down and 9. Palmer pumps and runs it. It's inside the 35, went for 4, met by the left defensive end, Vaughn Martin.
This isn't something that the Raiders want to see Carson Palmer doing a lot of, but just no one open there. They've got no one in the backfield to protect, so he does the next best thing. He pulls it down and tries to pick up a couple yards. See Hugh Jackson there. And Carson Palmer told us on Friday he's finally feeling comfortable with this offense. When knowing the plays coming, he's not thinking so much of what they were like in San Diego in terms of the verbiage and terminology.
3rd and 5. Palmer's throw incomplete behind Marcel Reese, the fullback coming out of the backfield. So with a 4th down and 5, this will be a long attempt for Sebastian Janikowski, although for him, I don't know if the word long is the proper usage, 52-yarder.
It's like a chip shot.
Yeah.
And they're the best kicking tandem in the game with Leckler, who's holding, and Janikowski, his first Pro Bowl in 12 seasons.
Angle is to the left. And the kick by Janikowski. It is good. Sebastian Janikowski on the board. San Diego's lead is now 4. Moment ago, Sebastian Janikowski hit his 7th field goal, 7 of 10 from 50 yards or more this season. See the scoring summary. Chargers 14, the Raiders 10. Janikowski will kick off to the first-year player out of Florida State, Richard Goodman. He takes it midway in the end zone and will run it out to the 15, to the 20, to the 30 with a blocker. He's to midfield. Down to the 30, down to the 20. He will go all the way. 105-yard kick return by Richard Goodman. For San Diego, their first kickoff return for a touchdown since back in September of 2008, when a fellow by the name of Darren Sproles did it.
And you think about the changes that San Diego made, replacing their special teams coach this preseason, bringing in Richard Bisaccia, the veteran special teams coordinator that spent all those years down in Tampa. And the special teams units across the board have been better this year in San Diego.
Well, they had a very long season in that department last year. Here's Nick Novak getting set to kick the extra point, but a flag is down.
False start, offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty. We'll replay the try.
It's on Brandon Dombrowski.
Never see more penalties on extra points. I mean, it's incredible.
And the Chargers, not a highly penalized team. They're certainly not anywhere near the class of the Oakland Raiders. So a longer attempt, and Novak, with no problem, puts it through. We will now take a look at Richard Goodman's 105-yard kickoff return from up above from the blimp coverage.
Yeah, and he starts out to his left. And then once he gets past the 20, he's going to wind this thing all the way backside. And if you're covering kicks, you've got to be able to get off blocks. The Raiders don't do a good enough job, and you're never going to catch a guy like Goodman in the open field.
And Rich, there was no hesitation from Goodman, who took it about midway through the end zone, and you don't see many returns against Sebastian Janikowski.
No, because he gets, not only does he get the good distance, but he gets the good hang time. The thing I liked about Goodman there, very decisive. Once he made the decision to bring it out, there was no stopping him. And that's what you have to be as a return man, whether it's punts or kicks. You've got to be decisive. You've got to be able to put your foot in the ground and hit it running.
And the 105-yard return by Goodman, the longest kickoff return in Chargers franchise history. Now Tyvon Branch is back as the deep man instead of Brian McCann, as the Raiders await the kick.
Well, it's gotten quiet in here all of a sudden. This is an important possession, I think, for the Raiders, Marv. They've got to create a little momentum here as they go into halftime here with 6 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Got to drive down, try and get a score, get this crowd back in it.
A Raider loss, and they are out of the postseason, no matter what Denver does against Kansas City. We were talking earlier about Darren Sproles. Well, the last time they had a kickoff return for a touchdown, September 14th, 2008. They've got 55 games since without a kick return touchdown, as Sproles takes it all the way.
How about Sproles this season? He's had over 2,600 yards, the most combined net yards in the season, rushing, receiving, and returning.
Michael Bush, the running back. Raiders start out from the 20-yard line. Play fake. Palmer can't find anyone, and then, it's dropped. A leaping attempt made by Moore. And he's hearing the grumbles from the crowd.
Yeah, and talking to Carson Palmer on Friday, that's the thing that's been most frustrating to him, the drop balls, which has been a problem all season. And it's not a question of effort with these young receivers, it's just sometimes they fight it. You don't catch it clean, and you've got to find a way to make that play. Really nice job by Carson Palmer scrambling around, buying some time, giving Moore a chance to make a play on the boundary.
And again, a San Diego player is injured. Again, it's Sean Phillips, who went down earlier in this first half.
And they can't afford to lose a guy like Sean Phillips. Antoine Barnes already ejected. You start losing these linebackers and your pass rushers, that really hurts your chances to get pressure on a quarterback like Carson Palmer.
Sean Phillips has made it back from a foot injury, missed 6 games during the course of the season. Well, as we ring in the new year, we celebrate another hit season. And thank you for making CBS America's most watched network. Marv Albert, Rich Gannon from the Coliseum in Oakland. Niall Diggs has come on now for Sean Phillips. Well, at the 2-minute warning, the Chiefs in front of the Broncos. 7-0 in Denver. Palmer with a long look is able to escape and completes up at the 40, but as Marcel Reese made the reception in front of the strong safety Steve Gregory, that's good for 21.
Well, really nice movement here by Carson Palmer. This Marcel Reese, every time I watch the Raiders, I really like this kid. Big, strong, he can get back in their fullback position. They're not afraid to move him around a little bit and let him go run some routes. Very dangerous in the middle of the field.
First down for the Raiders. This is Bush. Just 2 on the carry. We're told that Sean Phillips suffered a cramp going down for the second time in this first half. 5 minutes remaining in the half. For the Raiders, a win and a Denver loss would mean the AFC West title and a trip to the playoffs. Palmer to the far side. It's completed. Darius Hayward-Bay has stepped out. That stops the clock. Antoine Cason on the coverage. That's good for 14.
And you're going to see how much space Cason, they really respect the speed of these receivers. Darius Hayward-Bay, that's always a concern for a defensive back. No one wants to get beat. You want to try and keep it in front of you, but boy, these guys can really fly.
Michael Bush battling his way. Picked up the 6 on the play. On the other hand, and Oakland lost today, and they are out. Even if Denver loses to Kansas City because of the third tiebreaker, which deals with common opponents, and where Oakland really hurt itself was a loss in Miami, while Denver, led by Tim Tebow, came up with that come-from-behind win over Miami. There's a swing pass. Jacoby Ford, and he has a first down. 7-yard advance.
You get a good look at the two-team divisional tiebreaker, the head-to-head. The division record, both teams are 3-2. We're talking about Denver and Oakland, and then the one loss against common opponents. Denver's 4-2, Oakland 3-3, and it goes back, as you said, Mark, to the loss against Miami for the Raiders.
Palmer with time, throwing end zone, and he's out of bounds. Hayward-Bay looked back at the official waiting for the call, made the catch, but out of bounds. As Palmer took a pretty good pop.
Well, they love to play action, and they like it because of the protection. You're going to see a good hit here, but Carson Palmer sits in there and gives Darius Hayward-Bay a chance to make the play. Now he's just got to hold on to it. Really alert play there by the Pro Bowl safety, Eric Weddle, stealing it away from DHB.
And now a timeout is being taken by the Raiders. Coming up on the Sprint halftime report, it's JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Sprint halftime report. I enjoyed Boomer's blunders earlier on the pregame. Why are you scoffing at that?
Our guy Boomer.
That's not right. Very well produced, very creative.
He stole that idea from you, didn't he?
No. Wild and wacky, completely different.
All right.
Palmer now 11 of 17, 114 yards, including a touchdown. Manasseh Tonga, Michael Bush in the backfield. Second down and 10. There's a reverse. Moore cuts back the other way. Denarius Moore finding some running room with a blocker. He was pushed in front of him. Beautiful move by Moore. Was able to make something out of it. Cason able to get to him. Ends up only a 4-yard pickup. And it looks like Denarius Moore is hurt.
It's a lot of work for 4 yards, wasn't it? And that's what gets you. We always talk about speed kills and its ability to reverse field. Now they're going to run the reverse. See Bush gets it. He's going to flip it to Moore. Carson Palmer out in front. He knows he doesn't have it. Now he's able to wind all the way back. Now the linemen start getting up. They start making some cutoff blocks. And good job, good pursuit by that San Diego secondary.
Took a shot. Looked like he ended up landing on the back of his head.
Well, they've been so banged up. They've had so many injuries. You think about Carson Palmer. People ask me to evaluate Carson Palmer. What kind of season has he had? And it's been tough. He hasn't had the luxury of having the entire supporting cast together. He's yet to play with Darren McFadden, without question, who is their best player. He was having an incredible season before he got hurt. Marcel Reese, Denarius Moore, Jacoby Ford all have missed extended time this season. And I think that's really hurt Carson Palmer in terms of his comfort level and the development in this system.
Crowd cheering as Denarius Moore is able to get to his feet. And you saw Antoine Kaysen come over to see if he's all right. There's Darren McFadden.
Well, you talk about their best overall player. I mean, you know, he hasn't played since week 7. It's had a ripple down effect. You take away that 1-2 punch of the running game, which was their strength, and now teams can tee off a little bit more on Carson Palmer and the passing game.
You see the drive for the Raiders coming up, the 9th play of this drive. Palmer will look at a 3rd down and 6 from the San Diego 26-yard line. 21-10 Chargers in front.
Break outside, outside.
Palmer, after pumping, throws and almost picked off. Kaysen really came up with the interception. The pass intended for Louis Murphy.
Man, we've seen a couple of these today. Carson Palmer has to be careful. You're going to see Kaysen. He jumps this comeback route the whole way. You just can't drop back there and think the receiver's going to win. You've got to see throws. Carson Palmer has got to take better care of the football. 15 interceptions in 8 starts.
So here's Sebastian Janikowski attempting a 43-yarder. Earlier he hit from 52. And this one is good. 2:19 remaining. First half. And the Chargers now lead at 21-13. Sebastian Janikowski headed to the Pro Bowl for the first time in his 12-year career, joining punter Shane Lechler, who made it for the 7th time. And you know, Sebastian can select who he wants as his long snapper, and he's going to take his teammate John Kondo along with him to Hawaii. For more than 30 years, it's been the must-see show. The pros watch unscripted, unrehearsed, and unpredictable. Join JB, Phil, Chris, and Warren inside the NFL. That's Wednesdays on Showtime. And there is Shane Lechler in a conversation with long snapper John Kondo. He's played 6 years out of the University of Maryland.
His old hat for Lechler. He's been there a bunch. He's going to make Janikowski buy the cocktails over there. It's kind of a ritual, a tradition. When you get this guy makes his first trip, costs him a little extra money.
And Richard Goodman is back, and just on a couple of hops. Goodman went 105 yards the last time he handled it. Puts on a couple of moves, a little stutter step by Goodman, but does not get much out near the 20-yard line. Returned it 16 yards. Jerome Boyd was there to stack him up.
Well, so far so good for Phil Rivers in the first half, and it really boils down to being able to run the ball, have some balance, and then protect it. And if you give this guy protection, he can be lethal. That's what Norv talked about last night. I think they solidified the left side of that offensive line. That's really helped. Going out and getting Jared Gaither has made a world of difference at left tackle.
Well, halftime in Denver, and the Chiefs with that 7-0 lead on the Broncos. Chargers start out in the 20. Brinkley is stopped. As we come up on the 2-minute warning, a 2-yard run by Brinkley. San Diego, 3 timeouts remaining. Oakland has 2, and the Chargers with a 21-13 lead on the Raiders. From the Raider point of view, they have to be happy with what Kansas City has done in the first half of Denver with a 7-0 lead, but they have to win here to clinch the AFC West and either win or the Denver loss. Rivers on first down. Completes to Brinkley. Curtis Brinkley out of the backfield to pick up 5, met by the middle linebacker Rolando McClain. San Diego calls for time. Down to a minute and 44 remaining in this first half.
Yeah, and the first half has been about big plays for Norv Turner and the Chargers. So Phillip Rivers, we talked about giving him protection. He's found his tight end, Antonio Gates, 3 times for 80 yards. This big catch here sets up the Tolbert touchdown. And then, of course, the big kickoff return from Richard Goodman, 105 yards. That really broke this thing open. And the Raiders giving up some big plays, and that's really been the story. Not so much in special teams, but for this defense this season, giving up a lot of big plays.
Brooks correction on that timeout. The Raiders took it. They're down to 1. San Diego has all 3. 3rd down and 3.
Boy, man-to-man coverage. But have to run the line of scrimmage.
Long count by Rivers. Floats one. Malcolm Floyd with the leaping catch and has a first down. Made the catch in front of the corner, Lito Shepherd. It's good for 5 and a San Diego first down.
Phillip Rivers does. He's got such confidence in these taller receivers. You mentioned a guy like Floyd at 6'5", and you see pretty good coverage by Lito Shepherd. He just gets out jumped by the taller receiver. And that's the benefit you have when you have 2 receivers like a Malcolm Floyd and a Vincent Jackson. You see man-to-man coverage, you just want to give an opportunity to go up and make a play.
San Diego calling for time, so they now have 2 left. Raiders have 1. The clock showing 1 minute and 44 to play in this first half, and the Chargers with a 21-13 lead on the Raiders. Mike Tolbert in the backfield to the left of Rivers.
Let's go yellow, load it.
Rivers over the middle. Patrick Creighton able to run it into Oakland territory. He goes for 23 yards. Brought down by Matt Giordano.
And what's happening is the Raiders continue to bring 5 or more rushers. And so Phil Rivers knows he's got man-to-man coverage. And they're just running these little crossing routes. You can see Tyvon Branch way behind Creighton. And all it takes is one little pick at or around the line of scrimmage, makes it very difficult for those safeties.
First catch by Creighton and a first down for San Diego. Tolbert in the backfield. And Creighton to the left. Rivers dumps over the middle. Mike Tolbert broke the tackle and has another San Diego first down inside the 35. That's 13 yards on that play.
That's the one thing Phillip Rivers has always done a good job, getting the running backs involved in the passing game. Both Matthews, who's not playing today, and Tolbert both have more than 50 receptions.
Ricky!
Rivers on first down, goes sideline, and it is broken up. Vincent Jackson, the intended receiver, covered by Lito Shepherd.
Pass intended for number 83, Vincent Jackson, broken up by number 21, Lito Shepherd.
Well, you remember the last time these 2 teams played, pressure was the big story. 4 sacks from Cameron Wimbley. They got him on the ground 6 times. They had problems protecting. And that's the first thing that Norv Turner talked about this week is we've got to find a way to protect our quarterback.
That was a 24-17 win by the Raiders. A huge day for the running back, Michael Bush. Rivers looks to swing it and then just throws it away. Curtis Brinkley in the area, but well covered by Tyvon Branch. And the crowd not happy. They wanted intentional grounding called on Rivers.
Well, the one thing Phil Rivers does such a good job of is he understands the protection scheme so well. And when he looks and previews that Oakland front and he sees they're bringing extra, he'll keep an extra back in. He'll keep the tight end in. That allows him to really set his feet and take advantage of some of those one-on-one matchups down the field.
3rd and 10 at the Oakland 33. Rivers with some time. He throws, and it is incomplete. Through the hands of Vincent Jackson, again covered by Lito Sheppard.
Seems like they're going after Lito Sheppard a little bit. He's got his hands full, not only with Vincent Jackson, but Malcolm Floyd. I've heard all these conversations about Phillip Rivers and his arm strength. This guy still has pinpoint accuracy, and he gives these receivers a chance to make a play. You think this guy, he's the catalyst of this football team, a fierce, fierce competitor.
So here's Nick Novak attempting from 51, his career-long 53, as an angle to the right. And it is good. Nick Novak, who replaced Nate Kading, who had torn ligaments suffered in his left knee, trying to make a tackle in the season-opening kickoff, and Novak has come on and done a nice job.
Isn't it amazing? These kickers, they hit these 51, 52, 53-yarders, and it's like they hit a half wedge, and they've got plenty of leg.
You know, you look at this Chargers season, and that 6-game losing streak took them out. They've had a couple of really tough losses. Week 8 at Kansas City. Chargers in position to kick a game-winning field goal, but Rivers fumbled a snap, game-winning to overtime, and Ryan Succop hit from 30 to win it for the Chiefs. Week 12 against Denver, Novak missed a 53-yarder in OT, and the following possession, Matt Prater connected from 37, and the Broncos won that game 16-13.
And I always say the difference between a 6-10 football team and a 10-6 isn't very much. It's a play here or there, and you look at that season for the Chargers, it's been a weird season. Get off to a terrific start, they lose 6 in a row, then they win 3 in a row. The mid-season collapse, just too much to overcome for Norv Turner and the Chargers.
Novak will kick it off now to Brian McCann, who was back deep with 46 seconds to play in this first half. And a good kick by Novak, so McCann will stay right there. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Raiders from their 20.
A look at the AFC West with Denver and Oakland battling it out here on the final day of the regular season. San Diego at 7-8, eliminated from playoff contention, and Kansas City involved today with Denver at 6-9.
Yeah, you look at the difference, just 2 games between the 4th place Chiefs and the 1st place Broncos.
Oakland does have a timeout left as they start out from their 20-yard line. Palmer incomplete, intended for Michael Bush.
Carson Palmer told us on Friday, just really last week in Kansas City, finally was able to finish the play call as it came in from the sidelines from Hugh Jackson. He's been able to visualize, no longer reverting back to what he used to call it, refer to it in Cincinnati. And that takes a while. That mental process doesn't happen overnight, particularly for a quarterback that wasn't a part of the preseason program.
Palmer now 11 of 20, 114 yards. Took a pop and a flag down off the incompletion.
Maybe they called holding there on the Chargers. And allow Bush to get out.
Holding defense. Number 71. 5-yard touchdown.
Antonio Gray, the defensive tackle, 5-year man from Boston College, called on that penalty.
Yeah, and he wasn't able to get any good pressure on. You'll see him right in the middle. He's going to come off right there, and he grabs the back and just tackles him. You can't do that. I saw Michael Bush sneaking out. Didn't want him to.
All right, 1st and 10 now for the Raiders. On the screen, it's Bush. And again, a flag is thrown. Spikes made the tackle.
Talk about up and down performances, and you think about the San Diego defense, they've been inconsistent. Some solid performances mixed in with some very disappointing and frustrating efforts. It's just too hard to win when you play that way.
Illegal use of hands. Hands to the face. Defense. Number 38. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It is called on Marcus Gilchrist, the second-round draft pick rookie out of Clemson.
They just haven't really developed any continuity and consistency on the defense with all the injuries. And a lot of young players. You see Gilchrist, he's played a lot of snaps for this defense this year. At the corner, at the nickel.
So for San Diego, that's their 5th penalty for 38 yards. And they actually have more than Oakland. Another flag is down as Palmer completes it midfield. Hayward Bay on the reception as a flag will be checked out. It's a 24-yard pickup if it holds up. We're down to 22 seconds remaining.
That's going to be on San Diego as well.
Offside defense, number 53. Penalties declined. Yardage put up for a first down.
There's the linebacker, Darrell Gamble.
Well, there's just a big hole in the 2-deep coverage. You're going to see Darius Hayward Bay just run a little dig route. Perfect throw there by Carson Palmer between the corner and the safety.
Raiders do have a timeout left. 22 seconds to go in the half. Palmer with time completes over the middle inside the 40 to Michael Bush. And now time is called. That's a 9-yard advance. So Oakland using its final timeout, and right here with 16 seconds to play when we resume, is 2nd and 1, and this is well within the range of Sebastian Janikowski. Actually, the entire field is within the range for Sebastian. He's hit today from 52 and 43. This earlier in the season as Sebastian hit a 63-yarder that tied the NFL record that is held by Jason Elam and Tom Dempsey.
He's a weapon. As a quarterback, you realize that. You know where you're at in the field, and for Carson Palmer, you just don't want to take a sack. Throwing the ball away here, not the end of the world. You just have to be smart.
2nd and a yard. Palmer under pressure throws it away. And we're down to 11 seconds remaining in this first half. At this point, it would be a 56-yard attempt by Sebastian Janikowski.
And they've got to be really careful with no timeouts left. They've got to be smart. If you complete one on the field here, they're not going to have enough time to run the field goal unit on and get it. So they've got to work the boundary. Carson's got to be really smart in this situation.
Hayward Bay, top of the screen, flank to the left. Palmer looking that way, and then short range, and that's just what you were talking about. As Murphy makes the catch, now they have to hurry, no timeouts remaining. Got to spike it quickly, and time runs out.
Oh, that's incredible. We just talked about it. When you talk about understanding the situation in the game, whether that gets relayed from the sidelines to Hugh Jackson into the headset, but for a veteran quarterback like Carson Palmer, he's got to understand the situation.
So they blow the opportunity for another attempt by Janikowski. And at the end of the half, the Chargers 24, the Raiders 13. Back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Have a blessed New Year, dog, and I'm still want to get some on you. Yeah!
Here's the throw. Touchdown!
Oh yeah, it's going now.
105-yard kick return by Richard Goodman. Our CBS cameras visiting the black hole throughout the first half. 24-13 San Diego over Oakland as we head to the third quarter. Let's take a look at the Droid Razor play presented by Motorola. Sebastian Janikowski's kick handled by Richard Goodman, the first-year player from Florida State, and he will go all the way 105 yards. Longest kickoff return in the history of the Charger franchise. But Rich, from the point of view of the Raiders and their fans, not what they would have in mind with such a crucial game. And you have to wonder about clock management, those final seconds.
Really poor execution, Marv, and that's what you can't have in a critical game like this by the Raiders. And you just look at 11 seconds to go. You can't make this throw. And it's part of it's on the head coach, the play caller. Hugh Jackson's got to be able to relay that information to Carson Palmer. You can't put the receiver in a situation where he can't get out of bounds. You've got one of the best field goal kickers in the business. It would have been a 56-yard field goal. Give the guy a chance to make that kick.
Raiders receive to start the second half. Nick Novak will kick it away. There's Tyvon Branch back deep. Branch, the four-year man out of UConn, is back deep for the second time today. Meanwhile, in Denver, it is now 7-3. Kansas City. Here comes Branch to the 10. Angles left. Flag comes flying as he bumped out of bounds as he crossed the 20-yard line. Dante Hughes shoving him out.
Are you serious? During the return, holding return team number 25. Penalty is half the distance to the goal line. First down, Oakland.
And that is the record breaker, Rock Cartwright, who you may have heard saying, "Are you serious?" to the referee Clete Blakeman. So the Oakland Raiders set an NFL record with their 159th penalty call this season. Earlier, they broke the record for most yards of penalties.
I was on that 98 Chiefs team, and you look at that list there, Marv. It's not the first time the Raiders have led the league. In fact, they've led the league 16 times, including last season.
Raiders start out from their 5, and Michael Bush, the ball carrier.
Well, a couple things jump out at you when you look at the first half statistics. I mean, look at that, just offensive plays, just 28. The Chargers have made the most of those opportunities, but 40 offensive plays for the Raiders, 81 rushing yards. I mean, they're right, I don't say right where they want to be, but they just got to continue to rush the ball with Bush and take your shots in play action.
Second down and 5. Here's Palmer after the pump. Able to complete. Moore is hauled down from behind inside the 15 by Quentin Jammer. Carson Palmer throws for 78, including the run. And the Raiders, first down, ball is placed at about the 11.
Nothing special there. It wasn't even a double move on the veteran Quentin Jammer. It's just speed that gets him. And of course, Carson Palmer heaves this thing out there. You can never overthrow these Oakland receivers because they've got so much speed.
A huge play by Carson Palmer and the Raiders. Handoff to Bush. Michael Bush stopped by Takeo Spikes, picked up 2 on the play. Michael Bush, who ran for 157 yards against San Diego in that earlier meeting. Once again, the scenario in terms of the playoffs. Raiders would clinch the AFC West with a win and a Denver loss or a tie. Kansas City with that 7-3 lead. In the third quarter, Palmer looking end zone. Palmer pumps, he throws it away. Darius Hayward-Bay, well covered by Antoine Cason. Brings up a 3rd and 8. You see the stat line on Carson Palmer. So Bush and Reese will be in the backfield. 3rd down and 8.
Nice spot, 1. Here we go. Sit. Grenade.
Palmer's pass is knocked down. Looked like Corey Leggett, the rookie out of Illinois, got a piece of it.
He's right there in the middle of your screen. It's just good effort. And if they can't get to Palmer, the next best thing is to try and jump up and bat that ball when you see him cock the arm.
Here is Janikowski attempting a 27 78-yard field goal earlier, hit from 52 and from 43, and then not able to get on the field right at the end of the half as time expired. Good. He pounds it right through. You're watching the NFL on CBS. 6 plays, 85 yards, leading to the 27-yard field goal by Janikowski. But they had to settle for that field goal after that 78-yard pass play, with Carson Palmer tying the longest pass play of his NFL career. Goodman on the return. To the 15, puts the speed on, gets outside, across the 30, and out of bounds. So Richard Goodman, who took one back for 105 yards in the first half with another good return, this one for 35. Well, tomorrow, ring in the new year with America's Best Night of Comedy. Catch new episodes of How I Met Your Mother, Two Broke Girls, Two and a Half Men, and Mike and Molly, only CBS. Chargers start out from their 34. Crowd trying to urge on the Raiders defense. The pitch to Brinkley. And he is swallowed up. He tried to go to his right. Tyvon Branch is right there. Only a 2-yard pickup for Brinkley.
When you go back and you look at the first half possessions by the Chargers, after that first one, they got on the roll. They scored in the last 3 and taking advantage of the opportunities. You can't allow Phil Rivers to get momentum, whether it's in the first half or early here in the second half. You've got to discourage him. You do that by getting better pressure on the pocket.
2nd and 8 for Rivers and the Chargers. Rivers 11 of 17, 171 yards. Goes over the middle for Brinkley. That's across the 40. Advance of 4. Rolando McClain made the stop.
And you know, Marv, I played for Norv, and he wants to push the ball down the field in the passing game. He always has a few dozen plays in the plan that are shot plays designed to attack downfield. And talking to Chuck Bresnahan, the Raiders defensive coordinator, he says he's going to take 2 or 3 shots a quarter. And we've already seen that here in the first half.
Which my mother used to call me Norv.
Marv and Norv.
3rd down and 4. Tolbert returns to the backfield. Long look from Rivers, and has a first down, connecting with Antonio Gates, who brings to midfield, met by Cameron Windley.
You look at Antonio Gates, he leads the team with 59 receptions coming from today's game, and maybe doesn't have the speed that he once did, but he's still a very crafty player. He knows where those holes are in coverage, and he knows how to maneuver in and out between the zones and the man.
4th reception for Gates, making it to the Pro Bowl, the announcement earlier this week. 8th time for Gates. Brinkley returns to the backfield for this 1st and 10. Brinkley on the inside handoff, tried to work his way outside, but could not. He stopped for no gain by Tyvon Branch.
I really like Tyvon Branch. He spends a lot of time around the line of scrimmage, leads this team in tackles. You've got to account for him. Leads a team in tackles for the 2nd straight season, and you better account for him in the running game because he's down there a lot, and they also bring him a lot off the edge. Very good blitzer for Chuck Bresnahan.
2nd down and 10.
Loaded! All right, lock it!
Deep drop by Rivers. And the catch is made for 1st down. Antonio Gates for 16, covered by Mike Mitchell.
And you're hearing Phil Rivers at the line of scrimmage say, loaded, rocket. What he's doing is he's keeping the running back in. He's giving himself protection, solid 7-man protection. And that's allowing him to kind of set his feet and make big throws down the field to Antonio Gates. The thing you know about Phillip Rivers, he doesn't discriminate. Look at that, 5 to the receivers, 5 to the tight ends. And when it's not there down the field, he's more than willing to check it down to the running backs.
96!
First down inside the Oakland 35. Rivers is red hot. He completes again for a first down. Malcolm Floyd on the reception, covered by Matt Giordano. And that's an 18-yard pickup. Rivers now with better than 4,500 yards passing, joining Dan Marino, Warren Moon, Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees, the only players in NFL history with back-to-back 4,500-yard seasons.
Yeah, the guy's solid. I mean, you know what you're going to get with him. And a good pocket presence. He's tough enough to stand in there and take a hit. And I think he's just a phenomenal competitor.
Another first down for San Diego. Tolbert going to bring it to the 15, perhaps a yard. Aaron Curry, the outside linebacker, makes the stop. San Diego Chargers controlling this game. An early lead for the Raiders. Chargers took over. It's been an outstanding performance to this point by Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, and he's been very efficient. You see they're 4 for 4 on this drive, and you watch the players come on and off the field. That's the one thing about Norv Turner. He likes to utilize a number of different people in this scheme.
2nd and 9. And the inside handoff to Brinkley.
Curtis Brinkley,
Picked up a couple. Again, it's Curry on the stop. Rivers now 15 for 21, 219 yards. And I'm sure in San Diego there are fans are saying, why hasn't this happened all season long? That 6-game losing streak just took the Chargers out of it.
Yeah, and that's what they struggle with, the consistency. And Phillip Rivers, as good as he is, Norv, when you turn the ball over as much as he has, 24 coming to today's game, the most in the NFL, it's just hard.
3rd and 7. Rivers to the end zone. Is he out? No, he's in. Touchdown. Vincent Jackson was able to stay within the end zone. Beautiful pass from Rivers. And for Jackson, he does it with his first catch of the day.
Well, they play this 2-deep coverage in Oakland, and they asked the linebacker to run down the middle of the field, Rolando McClain, and that's a lot to cover a receiver like Vincent Jackson. Just keep an eye on 55. He's got to carry the inside receiver, and that's been a problem all season for the Raiders. Rolando McClain just cannot run with these receivers down the middle of the field.
Chargers with a 30-16 lead. And here is Nick Novak. The extra point is good. Phillip Rivers. Beautiful pass to Vince. Nine plays, 66 yards, and it consumed 5 minutes and 46 seconds. Touchdown pass from Phillip Rivers to Vincent Jackson, his 9th touchdown catch of the season. Nick Novak with the kick. Brian McCann is back, and it'll stay right there. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. What a sensational day it's been for Phillip Rivers.
CBS.
Not a happy group of Oakland Raiders, understandably.
That's that defensive line. They've yet to get any good real pressure on Phillip Rivers, and that's really been the difference.
And off to Michael Bush. Goes for 3 on the play. Well, the Raiders have not made the playoffs since back in 2002, and you look at this list, and Detroit, San Francisco, and Houston are headed to the postseason. Texans for the first time in their brief history.
Yeah, real credit to all those coaches and Jim Schwartz has done a marvelous job, and of course, right across the bay, Jim Harbaugh, I think, has got a good chance to be the coach of the year.
2nd down and 7. Completed to Hayward Bay. He's right at the marker, stopped by Spikes and Kaysen. And appears to be just short of a first down.
And the San Diego defense not overly concerned with the short and intermediate routes. They just don't want to go up the big play. You see Greg Minuski there. He told us that last night. He said, we'll give them the short stuff. We just can't let them run by us in the secondary.
3rd and inches. And they have the first down and some more. Michael Bush finding that hole on the right side. Goes for 6 and a first down. Donald Butler made a tackle.
I think this has to be a big Michael Bush half. Marv, you know, don't get so caught up in trying to throw the ball to get back in it. Michael Bush needs to be busy. You mentioned that the game that he had the first time around, over 150 yards rushing and about another 80 through the air.
Easy, order 5-6. Hey, Roger, 5-6. 3-9. Cut.
Palmer again over the middle. It is dropped by Darius Hayward Bay, who has had that problem first 3 years in the league, although he's come on as of late.
Yeah, he's been catching the ball better this season. I think he's playing with some more confidence, but you got to find a way to make them. You know, maybe not a perfect throw, a little low, but you still have to make it. You can't peek out in front. And that's part of the problem. He's looking out in front. He sees Sean Phillips there. He doesn't want to take that head-on shot.
So 3 drop passes this afternoon by the Raiders. Timeout is being called here by Oakland with 5:42. Marv Albert with Rich Gannon from Oakland, Kansas City, holding on to that 7-3 lead early 4th quarter in Denver. But the question is, as Bush runs to his left, spreads it out, short pickup. Donald Butler making the stop on a 2-yard gain by Bush. But here in Oakland, it has not been an inspiring effort by the Raiders. What was that last time out all about?
I just don't understand it. You know, we're talking to Carson on Friday about this. He needs to spend more time with that man right there, Hugh Jackson, during the week. And that's the one thing that Carson has talked about. Hugh's been so busy, but they're not getting enough quality time in that quarterback meeting room, really understanding the situations in the game.
3rd and 8, flag is thrown, and the pass is dropped by Darius Hayward Bay. Took a pretty good shot from behind.
Offside defense, number 76. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
It's called on Cam Thomas of the Chargers.
You go back and you look at the drop, and Darius Hayward Bay just doesn't catch it clean with his hands off enough or away from his body. He's a body catcher. He's not a confident catcher of the football. This is a pretty good throw here by Carson Palmer. Now, it's not an easy catch, but you've got to make that. Fights.
He has caught 5 for 62 yards, including a touchdown, but we've seen in this 3rd quarter a couple that he should have had. 3rd and 3. Palmer to the sideline has a first down, and it is Darius Hayward Bay on the reception.
And this is a good thing. You come right back to him. You've got to help him get his confidence back, and that's the thing that Carson has talked about. He said, I can't yell at these guys. They're young. The work ethic has been outstanding. It's just a question of them focusing in a little bit and not fighting it so much. I think you look at him, he's got 55 catches already this season, and after just 35 in his first 2 seasons.
First down for Carson Palmer and the Raiders. Palmer's pass is caught inside the 25 by Lewis Murphy. Donald Butler on the tackle. Time for an NFL Today update. Let's go to JV and Boomer.
Cincy has narrowed the gap, Boom.
Yeah, they have. The Baby Bengals are coming back for Norton Scott around the left side here. 25 yards, closing the gap. Remember, if they win, they're in. They get the 6th seed. They close the gap 17-10 into the 4th quarter now.
The Baby Bengals back to Marv and Rich.
Our guys 28-yard advance on that catch by Murphy. Here's Palmer to throw, going sideline, and it is caught by Jacoby Ford for a first down.
And you can just tell that Carson Palmer is really feeling it right now. He's really stroking the ball. See Jacoby Ford off coverage, his quick jammer the play before. Real nice throw down the middle of the field to Louis Murphy. You can just see he's in a rhythm right now. Good protection, helping him up front.
12-yard pass play and a first down at the San Diego 12-yard line. The lone setback is Bush takes the handoff, works his way to the 5, but a flag is down.
Holding, offense, number 69. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That's on the right tackle, Khalif Barnes, so they'll bring it back.
Boy, just not a critical penalty inside the red zone. You look at that play sheet there for Hugh Jackson, and I wrote this in my notes. They've had more second longs and third longs than anyone in the game this year. That's tough on the play call. You get these penalties on the early downs. Been a lot of second, third long situations this season because of all the penalties.
Sets it back to a first and 20. Set up the screen. Hayward Bay did not have much running room, and Jammer able to take him down. Picked up 7. Denver now with 5 penalties for 49 yards. San Diego has had a high number, at least for them, the way they have played throughout the season. But earlier, Denver breaking the NFL record for most penalties and most penalty yards, already in the books in that department. Just under 2.5 to play here in the third quarter. 2nd and 13. Palmer chase and throws it away. And again a flag is down.
I think you're going to get Darrell Gamble for holding. They're trying to run a screen, and the back's not getting out. They're grabbing Michael Bush. They're not letting him get out on the screen.
And downfield, offense, number 64. It's a 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, it goes the other way. It's on Raider center Samson Sotelli.
Well, you can see him right in the middle of your screen. He's way downfield. And what happened was it took so long for the screen to develop, the back's not getting out. Carson's got to throw that one away earlier.
San Diego declines the penalty, so it is a 3rd and 13 at the Charger 15-yard line.
That's another example of communication. The back has to make a go call there, and when they don't hear that go call, that offensive line's got to sit in. They can't get downfield too soon.
Palmer dumps over the middle, but Reese smacked up just inside the 10 by Spikes. That's a 6-yard pass play. Marcel Reese, the fullback, on the catch. This crowd would like to see the Raiders go for the 6. However, Sebastian Janikowski, who's hit on all 3 of his attempts, comes on for a 27-yarder.
I think this is the right decision. I mean, we're still here in the third quarter, but each possession is absolutely critical. You think about the Chargers, they've scored the last 5 times they've had the ball.
And a penalty, delay a game is called on the Raiders.
5-yard penalty, still fourth down.
Well, not the end of the world here with Sebastian Janikowski, but you think about a delay of game. We got a delay of game last week in Kansas City on the touchdown. They pulled the fake, they flipped the ball to their backup tight end, Brandon Myers. He races down the field for a score, only to have it called back because of a delay of game in this very situation. If you're San Diego, you always have to be alert for the fake against the Raiders.
Well, this is a 32-yard attempt. And Janikowski hits again. That's his 4th field goal of the day. Chargers now lead at 31-19 over the Raiders. Rich, a host of missed opportunities here by the Oakland Raiders. They had 6 possessions in Charger territory, had to settle for 4 field goals. They just scored 1 touchdown. And at the end of the half, the mismanagement of the clock, not even allowing Sebastian Janikowski to get out of the field for what would have been another potential field goal.
Yeah, too much of Sebastian Janikowski. I mentioned it, Marv, is that San Diego has been red hot on offense.
A return by Richard Goodman. Goodman putting on the speed, and he's taken down from behind by Brian McCann. 33-yard return. Tonight on 60 Minutes, an investigation into the SAT cheating scandal and Lara Logan's sky-scraping report on a climber who does not use ropes. 60 Minutes tonight, only CBS. Philip Rivers and his Chargers start out at the 28-yard line. The running back is Brinkley. 55. Coming up on a minute to play in the third. Brinkley reaching out close to the 30-yard line. Stopped by Tyvon Branch and Richard Seymour.
Well, Raiders have really moved the ball well today. Look at that, 56 plays, almost 400 yards of offense. But as you mentioned, Marv, they've stalled down in the scoring zone, and they've had to settle for a bunch of field goals. Whereas on the other side, Phil Rivers and this offense, they have capitalized in that part of the field.
Rivers now 16 for 22, 232 yards. He's thrown for 2 touchdowns.
I'll be fine in a second.
Intercepted once. Then getting good protection, and a leaping grab is made at the 45 by Vincent Jackson. A flag is down.
Vincent Jackson on the reception, penalty flag in the play.
Matt Giordano.
That's going to be on Giordano. He hits Vincent Jackson up around the head with that forearm. They're going to call that one every time.
It's only the second catch by Jackson. The earlier one was for a touchdown.
There is no foul in the play. The contact was with the shoulder. First down.
So no penalty.
A really nice throw by Philip Rivers. And you see these receivers, they go up in the sky, and really got fortunate there. He hits him with that right forearm right in the neck.
Time running down in this third quarter. So that was the final play of the third. San Diego with the Raiders trailing the Chargers 31-19 while Denver continues to trail Kansas City in the Mile High City. But Oakland needs a win. And they have not been able to deal with Philip Rivers. He goes to the ground for Mike Tolbert.
And the one area where Philip Rivers has had a lot of success today is working the linebackers and attacking in the middle of the field. You see Cameron Wimbley trying to keep up with Gates. They take a shot down the field. If not there, he comes right back inside to his back Tolbert. And of course, Vincent Jackson working on Rolando McClain. He's got to cover the inside receiver in that 2 deep coverage, and that's a mismatch, and that's where Philip Rivers has been attacking.
Second down
96.
and 7 from the Charger 48-yard line.
There's a free play.
Flag tossed as Rivers fires one.
You got him with the hard count.
Just underway here in the fourth quarter. May have been Richard Seymour.
Offside. Defense number 92. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
And it is Seymour called on the penalty.
It's just got to drive you crazy. You see Chuck Bresnahan there, Hugh Jackson. It's hard. You know, you can talk about turnovers are one thing, but unforced errors. Missed assignments, the mental errors, missed the penalties kill on the Raiders.
Brinkley trying to get to the marker, but no gain on the play. Stopped by Seymour. You saw that graphic. In effect, the Raiders average about 10 penalties per game. They had 15 last week in that overtime victory over Kansas City.
And we were out of practice on Friday, and they have local officials come out. So it's not for lack of effort. The coaching staff doing everything they can. I think the only way you get the message across is you start replacing players. I think that's the kind of message that these players will understand.
Third and about a half yard. Brinkley to the outside has the first down. An additional yardage. Working his way inside the 35 Stanford route, making the stop. Good run by Brinkley for 13 yards.
Well, just keep an eye on Aaron Curry on the backside. He can't let the back get outside him. You see the little flip to Brinkley, and just one false step is all it takes, and now Brinkley picks up an easy first down. See Aaron Curry, he's made a lot of plays since coming over from Seattle. He was the first player they acquired after Al Davis passed away. First time in 49 years someone other than Al Davis making a personnel move.
Brinkley running hard. Stopped by McLean. Another good run for Curtis Brinkley, this time for 8. You saw that graphic a moment ago. How about just one punt on the part, or no punts on the part of the Chargers? A very quiet day for that man, Mike Cyphers.
For the Raiders defense, they just can't stop Phillip Rivers in this offense. You see Rolando McClain, and it's been a long, long day. Not getting off the field on third down and giving up too many big yards, big plays on first down.
Second down and 2. Once again, it is Brinkley. And this time the Raiders stop him. Richard Seymour on the tackle, no gain for Brinkley.
Get a good look at Richard Seymour, and when this defensive line can take over a game, they can be very disruptive. But to the credit of that offensive line in San Diego, they've done a nice job. They've got some movement at the point of attack in the running game, and they've kept Phillip Rivers clean. They've yet to get Phillip Rivers on the ground. That's been the big difference between this game and the last game. They got Phillip Rivers on the ground 6 times because they got great pressure throughout the game.
Big play for the Raiders. Third and about 3. Rivers threw it away. Everyone covered, and no one in sight for Phillip Rivers. Brings up a 4th down, and Nick Novak will come on to attempt a 44-yarder. Earlier hit from 51. Novak, guys bounced around. Washington, Arizona, back to Washington, Kansas City, now San Diego's done a nice job this season.
Keep an eye on Richard Seymour. He blocked 2 of them last week against the Chiefs.
And Novak. No good. Nick Novak going wide. And the Raiders. Best starting position of the day for either club. Raiders 1st and 10 from their 35. Play fake by Palmer. Throws the middle. Hayward Bay down to the 30. And forced out of bounds. Big play by Carson Palmer hooking up with Darius Hayward Bay, who went at Eric Weddle. And it's a 39-yard play.
They love to start a possession with this play action pass. And Brent Jammer thinks he has an easy interception, and Darius Hayward Bay comes right on his back shoulder on that crossing route. Hayward Bay has actually had a pretty strong game. 8 catches, 114 yards already.
Raiders first down at the San Diego 26-yard line. Here is Bush. pushing the pile. The ball comes loose. Was he down? Yes, he was.
Michael Bush, the ball carrier.
You're going to see Steve Gregory, the safety, he come in. He's got to make a decision. He's going to try and take Michael Bush down low. And as he hits the ground, the ball comes out. It's the right call.
3 yards for Bush. 2nd and 7. There is Steve Gregory, the strong safety, was shaken up. 5 minutes gone by in this 4th quarter. Carson Palmer using the Raiders' 2nd timeout of the 2nd half. You can hear the boos from this crowd. Raiders trailing the Chargers 31-19.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by CVS. CVS Pharmacy accepts Express Scripts and over 5,000 other insurance plans. Verizon, the exclusive carrier of the Galaxy Nexus by Samsung. And by Jaguar. See the new model year lineup at JaguarUSA.com.
Beautiful day here in the Bay Area as we come up on 4 o'clock Pacific Coast time. Aerial coverage of today's game being provided by MetLife. Marv Albert with Rich Gannon. Just under 10 minutes to play in this 4th quarter. Desperate time here for the Raiders. 2nd down and 7 at the Charger 23. Palmer throws, end zone, touchdown! Kevin Boss, the tight end, on a 22-yard pass play. There is a flag.
That was an incredible catch and great concentration by Kevin Boss. He knows he's going to get hit. He never feels Steve Gregory, the safety. He might have gotten knocked out. An ugly hit from behind.
It's Kevin Boss who took that shot, as you mentioned, from Steve Gregory. And Boss is down.
And you always want to be careful with them, particularly if it's a head or a neck injury. You got to make sure before you start moving them. You can see the trainers out there and a couple of the doctors, team doctors.
Kevin Boss, who replaced Pro Bowl tight end Zach Miller, who ended up signing with Seattle. So Boss signed as a free agent after 4 years with the Giants, catching his 3rd touchdown of the season.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 28. A hit on a defenseless receiver. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the receiver.
All right, so it's Steve Gregory called for the hit, which means that when Janikowski kicks off following the touchdown, he will put it over the crossbar. Back in a moment. It's good to see Kevin Boss able to make his way to the Raider locker room, getting up after taking that wicked hit from Steve Gregory. Here's the point after by Janikowski, puts it right through. 10 unanswered points for the Raiders. They are back in it with 9:37 left in the 4th quarter. Thought the fantasy season was over. Well, it's not. Play NFL.com Playoff Challenge today if you want a trip to Super Bowl 47 in New Orleans. Sign up for free at NFL.com/fantasy. By virtue of that personal foul call on Steve Gregory, with the touchdown catch made by Kevin Boss and the hard hit, Sebastian Janikowski will kick it off from the 50. Richard Goodman is back, and it's a bouncing kick. Goodman feels it. He's in the end zone. He's in trouble.
That might be a safety. That might be a safety.
An unusual kick from Janikowski. It is a safety. Wow.
What a great idea by John Fossil, the special teams coordinator of the Raiders. A little pooch punt, make them bring it out, make them field the ball. And it caught the Chargers off guard. Good look at Fossil. He's done an outstanding job this season as the coordinator of the special teams units here in Oakland.
The son of Jim Fossil, longtime head coach. One official signaled safety, and now they're talking it over. The ball was bobbled, then lost momentarily in the end zone, and the officials discussing that play.
I don't think that would have gone into the end zone.
It was Quentin Groves who made the tackle.
The ruling on the field is that the receiver was down by contact with the ball at the half-yard line. First down, San Diego.
So they changed the call. There was the indication of a safety. Instead, they put it on the half-yard line.
Well, Richard Goodman, this thing may not go into the end zone, so he fields it. Now he's just doing his best to get out. Yep, I think that's right. The ball comes down over the goal line there, so it's the right call. But now this Raiders defense, you've got him pinned back. Good look at it. He's down and then the ball comes out.
Plenty of time remaining here for the Raiders. 9:32 to go, and San Diego will start from the half-yard line. Mike Tolbert in the backfield.
Oh boy, now the crowd noise deafening in this part of the field.
Rivers throwing for the end zone and gets out of trouble with the completion to Malcolm Floyd, who brings to the 20-yard line. That's good for 19.
Boy, an aggressive call by Norv Turner. Coming out of your own end zone. That's a great shot there by Philip Rivers.
In Denver, 58 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. And the Broncos with the ball trailing Kansas City 7-3. Rivers out of the gun and swings it out. Mike Tolbert makes the catch. Flag is thrown. Tolbert gets across the 25, but by Shepard. Picked up 7. And this call against the Chargers.
Holding. Offense, number 78. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
It's the left tackle, Jared Gaither, called.
Well, here's the problem today. You look at the Chargers' last 5 possessions. I mean, that's incredible. 10 plays, 81 yards. Touchdown, field goal, touchdown. And missed field goal. They have yet to be able to stop Philip Rivers and this offense.
Penalty sets it back to a first and 20 at the 10. And off to Tolbert, finding running room, and has a first down or more as he breaks tackles, reaching out near midfield.
Well, that's a killer. I mean, you had him on the half-yard line. You get him backed up in a 1st and 20 situation, and now you allow him to run a draw with Mike Tolbert. And once he gets up on the second level, somebody's got to make a play. What a great run by Mike Tolbert.
40 yards for Tolbert. And that's a career long for the 4-year man out of Coastal Carolina. First down for San Diego at the 50. Tolbert and Hester are the running backs. And a timeout is taken by the Chargers. It is their first timeout. See, the Raiders have only one left. 7:33 to go here in the fourth quarter. Oakland has come from behind. They're now down 31-26.
You look how close they were to scoring a couple points here on a safety, and Quentin Groves comes in and makes the tackle. Richard Goodman doing everything he can to get the ball over the goal line there. I mean, he just makes it by 6 inches or a foot. Very fortunate. Now they've been able to capitalize. You know, Marv, as I look at this defense, and in talking to Chuck Bresnahan, a defensive coordinator, they've been so inconsistent. The problem is from week to week, you never know what you're going to get.
And as you can see, just 30 seconds remaining in Denver. Now the Broncos trailing the Chiefs 7-3. Here's the toss to Brinkley. Looks to get to the outside, and then he's bumped out of bounds short of a first down. Lito Shepherd makes the play, but Brinkley picks up 7. If Kansas City can hold on and beat Denver, it will all be in the hands of the Raiders.
Yeah, that's just what they wanted. I mean, they just wanted the opportunity to win a game here at home in week 17. And they've got to find a way to get a stop. They've had a difficult time stopping the run, and they've had a difficult time getting to Phillip Rivers.
Even with a Denver loss, if the Raiders lose, Denver, by virtue of the third tiebreaker, ends up as the champs of the AFC West. Rivers with the throw. Oh, what a catch by Floyd. Cuts to the right, to the 5. He's in. Touchdown. Malcolm Floyd with a terrific move. It's a 43-yard pass play.
And the pass protection has been much better the last month for the Chargers, and that's made a ton of difference for Phillip Rivers in this passing attack, and they have really gone after Lito Shepherd today. Really a nice back shoulder throw. Phillip Rivers, he holds the safeties. Lito Shepherd doesn't get his head around quick enough to locate it, and then Matt Giordano takes a poor angle, and Malcolm Floyd does the rest.
Third touchdown pass of the day for Rivers. For Floyd, his 5th touchdown of the season. Novak puts the extra point through. Floyd with 7 catches, 127 yards. We welcome those of you joining us here in Oakland. Marv Albert with Rich Gannon. Kansas City has defeated Denver 7-3, but the Raiders are trailing the Chargers 38-26. If the Raiders can come from behind and win, they will take the AFC West. If they lose, Denver, despite the loss, will clinch the division by virtue of the 3rd tiebreaker.
Yeah, it's incredible what happened in Denver. Kyle Orton goes in there and finds a way to get a win against his old team. A little bit of a grudge match there. And Tim Tebow's numbers today, Marv, I'm sorry. 6.
What is going on here?
I'm looking at Norv Turner down there in the field.
Oh, that doesn't explain it. Please.
6 of 22 for 60 yards and an interception.
Wait a second. Are you being prophetic? You expect Norv to be in the booth?
I don't know. 6 of 22 yards today for Tim Tebow, 60 yards and an interception. Kansas City did their part. Now the Raiders have to find a way here with 6:48 to go. They've not been able to slow down Phillip Rivers.
A 99-yard drive started at the half-yard mark. Now Nick Novak will kick it off to Brian McCann. McCann had that 91-yard return last week against Kansas City on the opening kickoff. And here comes McCann. To the 10, gets to the outside, cuts back the other way, and then is taken out of bounds, pounded out at the 23. It's a 28-yard return. Paul Oliver able to make the stop.
Well, we talked about Phillip Rivers, how well he's thrown the ball. He gets it started with a big touchdown throw to Antonio Gates. And, of course, a big kickoff return, 105-yard return from Richard Goodman. No one's able to catch him. The Raiders have had to settle for a bunch of field goals today, 4 from Sebastian Janikowski. They've stalled down in the red zone. They get a big touchdown catch from Moss. Gets them within 5, but then Malcolm Floyd comes right back with the catch here in the 4th quarter. And now the Chargers lead 38-26.
Carson Palmer to throw. Catch made across the 40 by Denarius Moore, and he has a first down. That's a 15-yard hookup. As a sidelight to what has taken place in the Denver-Kansas City game, and this game here between the Chargers and the Raiders. Cincinnati is assured of the number 6 slot. They'll play in the wild card next week against the Texans in Houston. Palmer able to hit Brandon Myers, 3-year man from Iowa, covered by Steve Gregory. That's good for 10 and a first down. It's right at the marker.
And the Raiders have to go no huddle. They've got to get a couple scores here.
Return!
Just under 6 to go. Hand off to Bush. And he is stopped at the 49. Stopped by Tommy Harris. Left defensive end. No gain on the play for Michael Bush.
And both quarterbacks have put up some big numbers. Phillip Rivers over 300. Carson Palmer closing in on 400 passing yards today.
Hey, he's hot. Return!
We welcome those of you who have just joined us as Carson Palmer connects with Darius Hayward Bay, who spun around a couple of times by the corner Antoine Cason. Raiders are on the move as we come up on 5 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. San Diego with a 38-26 lead. Raiders need a win to make it to the playoffs. And the only way to make it is by winning the AFC West, with Denver losing earlier at home. Here's Palmer throwing deep, and it's broken up. Pass intended for Hayward Bay, covered by Antoine Cason.
Cason is really playing off, and in this particular situation, it works out pretty good. They try and run the little double move, a little out and up. Or Darius Hayward Bay doesn't do a good enough job selling it by getting his head around. Cason doesn't fall for it. I think they can complete routes underneath Cason. He's playing very far off.
Palmer now 26 of 40, 398 yards, 2 touchdowns. He has Bush and Reese in the backfield as he works out of the shotgun. Palmer to the sideline, and it's intercepted. It is picked off by Antoine Cason. So the Chargers take over. The interception by Cason with 4:36 remaining in this fourth quarter. The pass intended for Jacoby Ford.
And keep in mind, Jacoby Ford has been out of the lineup the last couple of weeks. So you know that Carson Palmer doesn't have a lot of reps. It looks like he just stumbles coming out of the break, and that's all it takes. Cason right there to make this easy interception on the boundary.
Meanwhile, in Denver, they are rooting ferociously for the San Diego Chargers. Despite that Bronco loss, if the Raiders lose, Denver wins the AFC West on the third tiebreaker, which is record against common opponents. The handoff to Tolbert.
Mike Tolbert up the middle.
Picked up 2 on the play. Time for an NFL Today update. Let's go to JB and Boomer.
And Denver was trying to win it on its own, Boom.
Well, missed opportunity for the Oakland Raiders if they lose. Tim Tebow, 4th and 2. He's going to throw an interception to Brandon Carr. Kansas City's going to win 7-3. Baltimore beats Cincinnati. They go to the 2 seed. Pittsburgh's the 5 seed. Cincinnati's the 6 seed. And all we have to do is wait to see if Oakland can win this football game to get the 4 seed.
Precisely what's happening now. Back to Marv and Rich.
Our guy second out at 7 for the Chargers. The toss to Tolbert, and he is bottled up. What if the Chargers hold on and win this game? And when Raider fans look back at a timeout has now been called by Oakland, it's their last timeout. One of the major points of discussion will deal with clock management. In particular, Rich, right at the end of the first half, they were not able to get Sebastian Janikowski on the field for a field goal, and there have been other instances where mistakes have really hurt them here this afternoon. And as you see the playoff picture, everything locked in except for that number 4 spot, which is the winner of the AFC West. And Oakland, as I mentioned, must pull out a come-from-behind win right here. Otherwise, Denver, despite the loss, wins the division.
How ironic is that? The Broncos finished in that locker room 4 for the Chargers.
Reverse with Vincent Jackson, finding some running room. Jackson across midfield. Jackson is pulled out from behind by Matt Giordano. Vincent Jackson, who made that touchdown catch earlier, goes for 41 yards.
And Philip Rivers gets out in front of this. You're going to see Vincent Jackson. He comes around. Philip Rivers makes the key block on Wembley. He kicks him out. Now Vincent Jackson is off and running. Big block by the quarterback.
Vincent Jackson with the end around. He has been one of the NFL's top big play receivers.
55, single loop.
And this time does it on a toss. Jacob Hester, the fullback, getting the call. Stopped by Rolando McClain, the middle linebacker. 5 for Hester. Crowd beginning to file out here at the Coliseum in Oakland. A disappointed crowd. Raiders with every opportunity going up against their arch rivals, the San Diego Chargers, a team that with a win will finish at 8-8, but that 6-game losing streak damaged their hopes, and there was so many hopes for this team coming into the season. Inside handoff for Hester, and a flag comes flying.
Maybe that'll be a false start. Maybe a neutral zone infraction. Thought I had Oakland there in the neutral zone. Marv, you mentioned it, that just the
Offside. Defense number 19. Down.
and that's Lamar Houston jumping off sides. That adds on to the Raiders' record of penalties set this season, and we've got 163 penalties. It's been a big story, hard to overcome that. Marv, you mentioned the issue before halftime, the mismanagement of the clock, that situation, a couple unnecessary timeouts in the second half. Just a frustrating day for Hugh Jackson. They just made too many mistakes to overcome in a game like this against the Chargers.
Coming up on 2 minutes remaining, Jacob Hester stopped by Lamar Houston, no gain on the play. And there is the 2-minute warning with San Diego in front of Oakland. 38-26. Yes, 2 minutes to play in this fourth quarter. Marv Albert, Rich Gannon from Oakland, and they take a knee and are looking to run it out. How about without Ryan Matthews, such an important player for the San Diego Chargers, averaging just under 5 yards per carry at running back, the Chargers still managed to rush for 156 yards here today.
Yeah, really nice job by Brinkley. He comes in and gets 52. Tolbert comes in for 9 carries and 58 yards. They mixed in some screens, and of course, Philip Rivers was very effective throwing the football, spreading it around to Floyd and to the receivers. The Gates had a big day. 5 catches, 106 yards. How about Malcolm Floyd? 7 catches, 127 yards, and a touchdown.
We welcome those of you who have just joined us. You can hear the boos from the crowd as the Chargers are just running it out. What a day for Philip Rivers. 19 of 26, 310 yards, 3 touchdowns, picked off once. And the Oakland Raiders continue the drought. They have not made the playoffs since back in 2002. Denver, despite the loss at home to Kansas City, wins the AFC West. They do it with the 3rd tiebreaker record versus common opponents. And as we talked about earlier, the game of significance looking back, Denver beating Miami in overtime, the start of the Tim Tebow comeback trail, and Oakland lost to the Heat. And maybe the Dolphins too.
You look at that longest active playoff drought, go back to 2002, and just a frustrating year. And, Kansas City did their part in terms of beating Denver today, Marvin. All the Raiders had to do was take care of business at home against the Chargers, and they couldn't get it done.
And Detroit, San Francisco, and Houston end their playoff drought.
Now, the big difference today is just see Chuck Bresnahan there, the defensive coordinator. They couldn't get to Phillip Rivers. In the first game, they got to him 6 times. Today, they just couldn't get him. No sacks for that Raiders defense. And when you give a guy like Phil Rivers time, he is going to hurt you down the field.
Oakland taking over on downs, and the sweep pass to Murphy. Able to get out of bounds, 21 seconds to play. And words with Kaysen and Murphy after that catch. And here is a look at the playoff picture. The division winners settled: New England, Baltimore, Houston, and Denver. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, the wild card teams.
It's ironic Cincinnati makes it in without Carson Palmer. The rookie quarterback Andy Dalton had an outstanding season.
Murphy gets across the 40, met by Marcus Gilchrist. And that will wrap it as he remained inbounds. So the Oakland Raiders, who have not made the playoffs since back in 2002, are taken out of it by one of their arch rivals. The question is the future of head coach Norv Turner and general manager A.J. Smith. Marv Albert with Rich Gannon saying so long from the Coliseum in Oakland. San Diego 38, Oakland 26 tonight on CBS. 60 Minutes followed by Unforgettable, The Good Wife, and CSI Miami. As we bid you so long from Oakland, you have been watching the NFL on CBS.